Hello, and welcome to another session of A Drop of Wine, your favorite wine podcast. Today we will be talking about German Riesling, a little bit about Austrian Riesling, a little bit about German Chardonnay, and a little bit about German Pinot Noir as well. It is called Spätburgunder in Germany. And I'm Philip,
Joaquin here.
and we hope to be having a entertaining 45 minutes.
So let's start. For everyone who is on YouTube right now, you see that I'm opening a bottle of wine. For everyone who is in Spotify listening to us, you just heard the plop. This means that I just opened our wine of the day, which is Dr. Böcklin Wolf, a great winery from Pfalz in Germany. We have a dry Riesling. To be precise, we have Dr. Böcklin Wolf Geisböll 2017, a great vintage and a great wine, one of our favorite ones. Yeah, we have more of them in the portfolio, but yeah, very easy drinking. Easy drinking. I wouldn't say
very
easy drinking. It's
complex.
quite complex. 13 alcohol, so a nice one to drink. Well, Philip, to start the conversation, let's talk a little bit about the Riesling in general. I would say we jump into the regions. So as I already mentioned, we are in Pfalz with Dr. Böcklin Wolf. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about what kind of Riesling styles we have, what kind of regions we have in Germany.
So we'll be talking about, there are many more regions, but we will be talking about 5 most important regions in our opinion. To start, we have Böcklin Wolf from Pfalz. I think it is the most prominent winemaker from the area. Of course, there are a couple of other ones.
Which would be the other one?
There are a couple of other ones, for example, Ökonominat Rebholz, Reichsrat von Buhl, to name a few that I really like. But to quickly jump back, we have 2 things to discuss. First, today you can see us in our cellar. Here we have a little showroom where we also sell our wines, where we host events and everything.
So if you're on Spotify, take a minute and jump over to YouTube to check out our wine cellar here, so you can have an idea from where we're working and where all our great wines are stored.
Unless you're sitting in the car, then drive safe and
don't drink
check it out later. And before we talk about other regions, should we talk about what we have in the glass?
Yeah.
Let's maybe give the wine a taste.
So you have the typical characteristics of a Riesling, of a German Riesling, which are...
If you're listening on Spotify and you're at the gas station right now, you have the same aromas as us, which is petrol. Typical notes for German Riesling, especially it develops a little bit with age, and it is Riesling is a very acidic grape, and here we still have, even though it's an 8-year-old wine, the acidity is still quite present, so it has a lot of aging potential. But it is very fresh, and the same and very complex. Do you want to say something about the wine?
No. I'm just enjoying it.
So Pfalz is one of the warmer regions in Germany, so the wines there are a bit more fruit forward. Doesn't mean they're sweeter; they're still bone dry, but you get more of these stone fruit aromas, a little bit of green apple, pear,
So I would say, to start also in general, to just explain a little bit about Riesling. As you know, there are many Rieslings that are also sweeter, and it's always quite confusing for people, because some people think that when they drink a Riesling from Germany, it will be sweet,
which is
not true.
Most of the time not true.
Well, there are certain regions in Germany, for example, Mosel, where they really like to work with residual sugar and botrytis. So this is the reason why we have the sweetness in the wine. You have, for example, a cabinet. Maybe you can say something to that, Philip, as you are German.
So we have in Riesling sweetness styles, we have 3, 4, 5 levels at least. So we have the Cabinet, what we have here. It's usually Keller is a winery from Rheinhessen. However, they have one vineyard in Mosel. Mosel famous for sweeter wines. Cabinet, here we have only 7.5% of alcohol, means not as much sugar has been fermented into alcohol. Then we have afterwards the Spätlese, just means the grapes have been picked later, therefore they are just riper. Then we have the Auslese, even another level of sweetness. And from there we go into Beerenauslese and Trockenbeerenauslese, TBA to be short. And basically with the Trockenbeerenauslese, you're basically picking raisins. So there's barely any water inside, it's mostly sugar, and you have very, very sweet wines.
Exactly.
Just one level above that is ice wine. So here the grapes are picked in the first frost when it's first time -8 degrees.
Yeah, they're basically frozen berries, and then everything has to happen very fast because the pressing process has to be when the grapes are frozen. So basically, the water in the berry is frozen, and you press it, and you just get out the nectar, basically, or the sweetness that is inside. Well, in this case, I want to give a comment also because I really, really like Rieslings, especially Auslese, the sweeter ones, TBA. I'm a really big fan of those wines. Why? Because as Philip mentioned before, Riesling is a very acidic grape variety, which also gives a good balance to the sweet wines. So you have this really, really sweet wines, but you have also a great acidity, which creates the perfect balance of sweetiness and acidity. That's that's what I love in the sweeter wines. Also to mention is that you can age these wines for a very long time, and they create amazing aromas with the time. That I can't describe it, but they are amazing.
I could. Yeah, you get really these. You get flavors of like apricot jam, candied fruits. Yeah, so it's basically you're drinking liquid candy. It's like sweet apple rings, and so many fruits come together, so much sugar, and definitely nice to try as a dessert wine, of course. So we did Pfalz, we did Mosel. Now we can go to Rheinhessen, since we just talked about Keller already. As mentioned before, Keller is actually from Rheinhessen. Probably he's, with a few other ones, the most famous winemaker in Germany right now. Really hyped wines, amazing, straightforward, clear wines. They're just really crystal clear and exactly what you would expect from a dry Riesling.
Also to mention, at Keller, they have the very big one called Gemax, which is really, really famous and really, really rare on the market. They only produce a few bottles every year, and definitely I would say that we're talking about the most expensive Rieslings in the world. So talking about Gemax, have you ever tried it?
I have not tried Gemax. I have tried most of the other Keller Rieslings, including, of course, Kirchspiel-Hubacker, a couple of the not GGs. GG is something we'll dive into a little bit later. But Gemax, not yet. But
No, not yet.
We have a few years, so I think at one point we should open one.
Definitely.
Jumping from Rheinhessen to Rheingau. With another very prominent winemaker, we have here Georg Breuer. Winery is led by Theresa Breuer, also one of the most famous winemakers in Germany. The nice thing here, this is the Berg Schlossberg Riesling GG. There's every year, like with Munter Rothschild, for example, a different art piece on the label.
Maybe to jump into also when we were already talking about the label, German Riesling is always in a special shaped bottle.
Yeah, the German Riesling. If you look at the bottle shape.
So we're not using a Burgundy bottle. We're not using a regular wine bottle. They're higher and
more narrow at the top.
Yeah.
So this is a typical Riesling bottle. You have them in Alsace, you have them in Germany, you have them in Wachau in Austria. So that's the typical Riesling bottle shape. And to talk about Rheingau, it's also a very sunny place. The wines are usually a bit more full-bodied. Another prominent example besides Breuer is, for example, Robert Weil.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Weil, also really classic producer, very traditional style of winemaking, produces Riesling, Großes Gewächs, but also amazing sweet wines, which are among the most expensive ones in the world.
Exactly, and also talking about the region, as you just mentioned, I just want to hop back to Mosel, which is also very famous for where the wines grow. So we have the Mosel River, which affects the vineyards a lot, and the elevation of the vineyards is very, very. So there is a big elevation. So it's very difficult for the wine growers to harvest the grapes, and they're working basically with different climate zones in the vineyards, and also because of the Mosel River, the winds that are going through the river affect the wines a lot, and also you have a reflection of the river, which gives light and sun to the vineyards from a completely different perspective.
So this is what you call a microclimate.
Yeah.
So very special terroir within a larger region of wine, within a larger wine region. And after Rheingau, Mosel, Rheinhessen, and Pfalz, there's one other one we'd like to talk about, which is not really famous for Riesling, but more for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, or how we call it in Germany, Spätburgunder, Austria's Blauburgunder. It's Baden, closer to the border of Switzerland and Austria, so in the southwest. And here we have from Ziereisen Jaspis, it's 100% Chardonnay. So here you have a very similar terroir as in Burgundy, actually. Same kind of stones, and also very traditional style of winemaking. Famous winemakers here are, besides Ziereisen, for example, Bernhard Huber. You might have heard of Bienenberg, Sommerhalde, and so on. So if you want to have Class A Pinot Noir and Chardonnay from Germany, that's the region you should go to.
Great. So now, just to sum up, the big regions of Germany regarding Riesling, we started with Pfalz, we have Rheinhessen, we have Rheingau, we have Mosel, and Baden. These are the big five, I would say.
But if you think we should still talk about any other one, please let us know in the comments.
Definitely. Let's jump to the classification, maybe. That's also a very big topic. It's sometimes a bit confusing for me, I would say.
Because we have different kind of classification in Germany. We talked about Kabinett, Spätlese, Auslese, Eiswein, and so on. But then there is also Ortswein, Lagenwein, Erstes Gewächs, Großes Gewächs. And in the case of Böcklin-Wolf, they decided we don't need any of that. We're going to do Premier Cru and Grand Cru, which basically translate to Erste Lage and Große Lage. Lagenwein is if you want to translate it into French, a single vineyard wine. And then you have the Ortswein, which is a village level.
Explained very well, Phil.
Thank you. And of course, the Grand Cru, like you know it, let's say from Burgundy, are the most expensive ones you can find. And it's all classified by the VDP, Verein Deutscher Prädikatsweingüter.
Exactly. If they're not inside the VDP, you can't have a GG, for example, or a GC. Exactly. So if you have, most of the times, or always when you have a GG, you would see it on the bottle. It's basically printed into the glass, or not printed. It's like
it depends on the bottle, and we have it here written on the back. Because on the front they say Grand Cru Monopole. This is also a monopole wine, so only they have access to this vineyard. Then on the back, just to follow the guidelines.
But correct me if I'm wrong. If it's a GG, it has to say on the bottle. In this case, it's a GC, I think. But if it's GG, I think it has to say on the bottle. I don't know.
Let me quickly check that.
Schau.
You know what? I hate it when you're right. So we have the GG here.
Yeah.
We have the GG here. And we have the GG here. So,
Yeah, I was right.
you were right.
Yeah.
Shall I say it one more time?
Yes.
You were right.
Okay. Thank you. No, I remember that from the WSET, but yeah, you know, it's quite a long time ago, so sometimes there are some things missing.
I'm not able to explain the difference between große Lage and großes Gewächs. Are you able to?
No.
Maybe, you know, we do a wine podcast here, but maybe one of you can let us know what's the difference between große Lage and großes Gewächs.
So, Phil, because I'm just seeing it, can you tell me something about Demeter?
Can you tell me something about Demeter?
Actually not.
I know that, I don't know much. I know that this is like a classification few levels above organic wines, and there are really strict guidelines on when to pick the grapes, what fertilizer to use, and so on. But
very interesting. So again, if you have the information, maybe Philip is wrong again. So
let us know. And also, do you think, maybe you can let us know in the comments, do you think organic wines are always better than not organic wines? And what advantages do they? After talking a little bit about wine facts and information and so on, what are your favorite Rieslings that you have tried over the year? Are there like a few that you name, or amazing, I can drink this every day? Or
so, as I mentioned before, I really love Brooklyn Wolf, the one we're drinking right now. There are different ones. So, as mentioned, this is Geisber. We had great ones like Pechstein, or we had
Kalkofen.
We have it also here, right? There are so many great Rieslings. We had German Rieslings against Austrian Rieslings, blind. So quite interesting. I had Rieslings from Keller, which are very, very prestige. And for me, always the Austrian one. I was really, really like, I thought they would be amazing, but I preferred the other one. But yeah, in total, I think Riesling is one of my favorite grape varieties. Why? Because of the acidity. I love the acidity in the wine, and I also love this notes of petrol, and this cleanness, the directness of the wines, and what Germany Riesling brings. What about you?
For me, I like Riesling. I like it when it has a little bit of age, because I think the acidity sometimes when in the young age can be very intense. I love Rieslings from Pfalz, for example, here, this one, and Rebholz.
Okay.
Hard word even for me as a German. Of course, Keller is a pioneer both for white and red wines. I love drinking them. They're so clean and crisp. And what I also like are the cabinets from Mosel. It's some Asian food, like some spicy Thai, and a cabinet from Mosel. It's amazing. But also Chardonnays from Baden are really high up on my list. But
So
if we're talking about, let's say, 3 specific bottles that you had in the past, what are your 3 favorite Rieslings that you've tried? Doesn't have to be German. Can be from anywhere.
So I really like is from Katharina Wechsler. No, yeah, Katharina Wechsler Kirchspiel.
Nice one.
Then Brooklyn Wolf Pechstein was amazing.
Yeah.
And let me think of the other one. I think it was von Winning. Or no, you know what? I'm gonna say from J.J. Prüm, Willener Sonnenruhr.
Nice one. And was it Kabinett, Auslese, Spätlese?
It was a cabinet, and I really loved it. I had it just a few weeks ago, and it was amazing.
It's a nice drinking wine. Yeah.
It was also older already, so it was mature and really, really good. What are your 3 favorite Rieslings or best Rieslings you've ever had? Doesn't have to be Germany, as you said.
So I'm gonna put in there one from Austria, Grabenwerkstatt.
Yeah, definitely. I also wanted to jump into that, but let's do that after.
So Grabenwerkstatt, Ried Trenning, or their Ried Trenning, or their the Große Werk, which is their prestige wine. But I think I'm gonna stick with Trenning because it's, I don't know. I like it. Then I am going to say Böcklin Wolf Pechstein also. It's a fantastic wine. We had, especially with like 10, 15 years of age, you should definitely give it a try. And then I am going to say, I don't know, maybe either Keller, nice Hubacker, or something from Mosel also. For example, what I just recently had, Domaine Serik from Negus Monitor. It's really nice cabinet.
Well, let's jump into Austria real quick. So as we are doing a podcast about German Rieslings, but I think it's very important to mention the neighbor, Austria, which is performing very, very well, actually famous for Grüner Veltliner, or mostly famous for Grüner Veltliner, talking about white wine. But I think that the topic Riesling is getting very important, or got very important in the last years. Well, you already mentioned Grabenwerkstatt. We're selling Grabenwerkstatt. We are working with them. We love it. And maybe you want to tell something about the Grabenwerkstatt Rieslings and in general about Austrian Rieslings.
So I would say first general about Austrian Rieslings. They come from Wachau. Let's talk about Wachau.
Okay.
You have on the bottom of Wachau, you have right next to the Danube River, you have the more, I would call them a little bit fatter, more full-bodied Rieslings. They need a lot of time. They are very good, very complex, and again, very full-bodied. A lot of alcohol. Some of them have like 14%. So it's not an easy drinking wine. But for example, Hirzberger, the Honigvogel, or from Knoll, I love the Kellerberg. FX Pichler, amazing Kellerberg as well. But then we have the Spitzer Graben, which is up and coming. We have wineries there like Mutenthaler, Feider Malberg, or our favorite one, Grabenwerkstatt. Here you have more straightforward, crisp, and more approachable wine. I think they're more palatable. You can give me a 3-liter bottle and it's perfect amount for the two of us.
Yeah. So you were talking about the Danube and the whole region downstairs. What gives this really, or I would say it's a topic of climate change. I would say also. Next to the river we have there is more botrytis, also, which gives this very rich and fattiness to the wines.
Can you quickly explain botrytis?
Yeah, so botrytis is what makes the wine. So we were talking about the sweet wines before. So it's basically a fungus, a good fungus that starts growing on the grapes, which takes out the water of the grape and leaves the sugar inside. So you have small rotten berries, basically, which you pick, and then you make the wine out of it. So very famous for that is Sauternes in Bordeaux, of course. But we also have it in Austria, basically, or especially in the Wachau area, but also in Germany, where they work with that too. So this gives a very, very richness to the wine. Also kind of a sweetness what you have, but it makes it, still they are dry, the wines, but you always have like this kind of a small sweetness also.
And like I would say honey notes.
Yeah. So they give a lot of honey notes, nutty notes, and it's basically, maybe you just go on Google and just Google it, put botrytis or Edelfäule in German, and you will see it looks quite disgusting actually. But this is how they produce the wine. They pick just a few grapes. It's not the whole grape stock. It's not full of these grapes. They just go and they just pick them for the TBA, for example. But you can also make a TBA out of Riesling, of course. So it depends. You can make a TBA out of everything. but
I think Riesling with the acidity is
exactly that's my favorite.
yeah.
So to go back, so you have more botrytis in that area around the Danube, but Spitzergraben is more up and more into the valley.
Windy, rougher,
So
weather, colder.
So you have very, very fresh and precise wines, which we love and we really support. So
Check them out.
if you have
Werkstatt.
exactly Kramwerkstatt. So it would be also interesting to know from you what you prefer. If you go more towards the Austrian Rieslings or the German Rieslings, these special petrol notes that Philip mentioned before, you also find them sometimes in Austrian Rieslings.
Not too much.
Not too much, but sometimes you find them, so it makes it quite difficult to, especially when you're tasting blind, it makes it quite difficult to see Germany or Austria.
Absolutely.
But yeah, sometimes we do some tastings here where we do blind tastings, Austria against Germany, what is a lot of fun.
Should we play a game?
Yes, please.
Cool. So, I have 3 guessing games for you.
Let's go.
Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna ask you questions. You're gonna tell me which grape I am and from which region I am.
Mm-hmm.
Which grape am I from which region? The wine is known for its light body and crisp acidity. It often exhibits floral notes with flavor of green apple and citrus. The specific terroir features steep slate soil vineyards along a river, which contributes to the minerality of the wine. The wine is made from grapes harvested at optimal ripeness, capturing the essence of the cool climate.
So you want to know the grape and the region?
Yeah.
So I would say Riesling and Mosel.
You're correct.
Okay, great.
Wine number 2. Okay. This wine is known for its elegance and complexity. It typically has cherry and berry fruit aromas, complemented by earthy undertones from the region's clay and limestone soils. The vineyards benefit from a sunny climate that allows slow ripening, producing the wines with depth and rich flavor. This area has a long history of winemaking, dating back to Roman times, and is known for breathtaking landscapes of rolling hills.
Cool. I would go, I think it's a Spätburgunder,
Mm-hmm.
so a Pinot Noir in German, or a Blauburgunder in Austria. And we are in Baden.
Correct. 2 out of 3. Wine number 3. This wine is often made in a style that emphasizes freshness and minerality. It may showcase flavors of citrus, peach, and green melon with a subtle richness that reflects the local terroir. The region features a warm temperature and light sandy soils, which contribute to the low yields and high quality of the grapes. The area is known for its innovative winemakers, who are gaining recognition for reviving this international varietal.
So definitely we're talking about Riesling. No. So
He had a run now.
yeah,
So would have won a glass of wine.
yeah, so we're talking about Grauburgunder.
No,
Really now. Is it? It's only in Germany, right?
it's only Germany. Yeah. One more guess.
Yeah, it's Riesling.
So
But we're talking about Riesling.
we are talking about Chardonnay,
Okay.
and we are in Pfalz this time.
Okay. That's super. That's it.
Well, 2 out of 3 is still more than 50%, and that's how you still kind of pass.
Okay.
Maybe not level 3, but
No.
I will. Cool. That's for now a game.
Maybe, yeah. So you are not playing today, only me?
Do you have a game prepared?
No. So let's talk about, okay, so I'm going to ask you that question.
Ask me some questions.
Perfect food pairing.
Amazing.
Riesling.
So
So
good with food.
I know what you love to drink when you eat a Wiener Schnitzel. It's Riesling.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because, Wiener Schnitzel is basically deep fried. It's not deep fried, but it's shallow fried in fat, lard. Yeah, that's the word. And because of all the fat, you need something with a high acidity to cut through the fat. And that's why Riesling is a perfect match.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So because you showed it to me that I remember we went for a schnitzel and you ordered a bottle of Riesling and the match was perfect. So yeah. What else?
I like, for example, spicy Thai food and Mosel Cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The spiciness and the sweetness of the wine work very well together. Kind of gets together in like a umami flavor. It's amazing. Also, again, high acidity, fat, fried chicken and Riesling is an amazing match. Here I would go for something more in the direction Rheinhessen, straightforward, like Keller, crisp. And what about, I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe what would you drink with the dessert?
With the dessert, I would drink Beerenauslese, Trockenbeerenauslese, TBR, or an ice wine. For example, Marillenknödel, like dumplings with apricot inside, would go very well with an ice wine. Or Kaiserschmarrn, Apfelstrudel, nice with a Trockenbeerenauslese. Because if you eat something sweet, you can't drink something dry, because the wine will seem bitter and off. If you have sweetness in the food, you should add sweetness in the wine as well. We are gonna talk a little bit about hard facts about German wine. How big is the German wine growing area?
I don't know.
Do you think it's because we always use the Bordeaux example, is it larger or smaller than Bordeaux? Whole Germany.
Whole Germany is bigger than Bordeaux.
Wine growing regions.
I know. I would say more or less half of Bordeaux.
Half of Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Bordeaux 130,000.
Mm-hmm.
Germany 103,000 hectares.
Okay.
So a little bit smaller than Bordeaux. Out of those 103,000 hectares, how much is being used for Riesling?
I guess most of it should be used for Riesling, as it's, so I would say maybe 70% of the 103,000 hectares.
Almost. It's 23%.
Well, so I guess a lot of it would be for Spätburgunder then and for Chardonnay.
Yeah, and there's also mass products like Dornfelder, Trollinger, Weißburgunder, Grauburgunder. So these also are used a lot. Okay. And then, of course, the Tafelwein, we have lots of those Tetra Pak wines.
Yeah, the ones you like.
Yeah, my favorite ones.
Yeah.
How many certified wine growing regions do we have in Germany?
So we're talking about 5 today.
Really?
So we had Pfalz, Rheinhessen, Rheingau, Baden, Mosel. There are many.
How many? Don't cheat.
I don't know, but I would say 15.
15, almost. There are 13.
Mm-hmm.
I have a beautiful map here. And which of them do you think has the highest percentage of Riesling grown?
Show me the map again.
So, who produces the most Riesling by percentage of all grapes grown there?
Yeah, I would say either Baden or Rheinhessen. Right?
Baden?
No.
Baden, who is famous for Chardonnay?
No. Baden, Württemberg.
Okay.
Württemberg or Rheinhessen.
Okay. Mosel. Mosel is with 47% of Riesling produced there. And most expensive German wine ever sold, or constantly selling.
So, okay, I would say directly G-Max, but I think I'm wrong with that one.
You are wrong with it.
So let's maybe Egon Müller.
We have Egon Müller there. Schatzhofberger. Trockenbeerenauslese.
Okay.
We are talking for the Egon Müller Schatzhofberger Trockenbeerenauslese, depending on the vintage, upwards of 3,000 euros per bottle. And then, of course, other expensive wines are, as you said, G-Max. We have some from J.J. Prüm. We have other ones from Egon Müller. most of them come from Mosel, actually, the really sweet wines, because you need a lot of grapes for producing a very small quantity of wine.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
Talking about sweet wine. Do you want to try a German sweet wine?
Yes, please.
Do you have something sweet?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that as we are in the Christmas season, of course, we have delicious Christmas cookies, freshly made by myself.
So how about you get Christmas cookies and I get wine?
Let's do that.
See you in a bit.
So, what do we have here?
You need to tell me.
So some fresh
Little
cookies.
Little blind tasting. Looks like a Santa's bag,
Wow.
Nice aromas. I get really I don't know if it's from the Christmas cookies, but I think this will complement them very well. You have these apricot aromas, like from the apricot jam. You have a little bit of vanilla in there.
Wow, I love it. This is exactly what I love about sweet wines from Germany.
Super good.
The acidity and the sweetness is perfect.
And you know directly it's a Riesling sweet wine.
Yes, it is.
Which level do you think we have here? Kabi, Auslese, Spätlese, Trockenbeerenauslese, Eiswein.
I wouldn't say we are in a TBA because it's still... I would go to Auslese maybe.
Fantastic. And you're so right.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. We have Pius Auslese from Klaus-Peter Keller. It just came to the market.
I don't know it.
This year. I think delivery came a couple of months ago. And so again, the aging potential here is huge. So maybe it wasn't the best move to open this 2024 sweet wine now.
It's cute. The bottle is cute,
Yeah.
so and I really like it. 10% alcohol. So let's have another glass. Basically nothing.
Like lemonade. And with that, Vanillekipferl.
Oh, yeah, I like these ones.
Fantastic. I know you like Riesling a lot, and me too, and especially German Riesling, or then the Spitzergraben Rieslings. But over the past, when drinking all of those great wines, did you have any disappointments with something where you had really high expectations, but you were like, yeah, no, I'm not going to spend this much money again on a wine?
With Keller.
With Keller?
Yes. So I mentioned it before. I went to a wine tasting once with the Vinum guys. They invited me, and it was, I think it was Mayam Fahrplatz against the big German Rieslings. So Austria-Vienna wine.
Weißer Marmor, right?
Well, Weißer Marmor, exactly, from different vintages against always the same vintage, but from a very big winery in Germany, Riesling winery in Germany. And there were a few Kellers, Hubacker, Kirschspiel. There were different ones. And for me, always Weißer Marmor won.
Always?
Yes, and most of it. So also that night we had, it was the point system, or in total, Austria won with Mayam Fahrplatz that night. It was very surprising and proud. I was proud actually, and very nice. But as I'm just mentioning, it was quite disappointing sometimes. Talking about the German Riesling, especially because they are very pricey.
But can you tell us maybe more about Mayam Fahrplatz?
Mayam Fahrplatz is a Viennese winery, and they produce great wines. Grüner Veltliner, Riesling, Gemischter Satz, famous for the Gemischter Satz actually. Yeah, great wines. And their big one, or their rare one, where they only produce a few bottles every year, is Weißer Marmor, 100% Riesling. And yeah, I think I never had it before. It was the first time there at this tasting, and I was really surprised, and I really liked it. I don't know if we have any community questions.
Some community questions. Question number one, is Riesling always sweet? We quickly talked about it. No, Riesling is not only always sweet. There are only a few occasions where it is sweet. Mosel, a couple of other regions also have, for example, the ice wine, but the majority of Riesling is actually dry, bone dry. And there are some examples from Canada or from France, United States, Australia, where they have also sweet Riesling. What is the best New World Riesling that you had?
I only remember at the WSET 3 exam, there was one question about Riesling from, I don't know if it was Australia or no, I think it was Australia. Yeah, I failed. So, yeah, you can imagine I didn't answer it the right way.
I had some great Rieslings from the States, California. Not Napa, but it was called... What is a certain giveaway that you have a Riesling in your glass during a tasting?
Well, if you have a look at the glass, it's Riesling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it by the color.
Yes. No, definitely here you come and you smell it first. And you have the feeling you're at the gas station. That's Riesling.
So you have the high acidity, you have a crisp minerality, a fresh wine usually, if it comes from the German regions, except Mosel or also Austria. It's not really on the crisp side, I would say. And then you have often these stone fruit aromas, apple, pear, and of course from the acidity you get citrus fruits. But I think the most important ones are petrol, high acidity, crisp, freshness.
Yeah. So the next community question, what would be the best age window to open a bottle of Riesling?
I think it depends a bit on the type of classification. I would say Village level Lagenwein, not a Ortswein, or a standard Riesling, maybe in the first 5 years. Then if we go to erstes Gewächs, großes Gewächs, personal preference between 5 and 10, 12 years. And if we're talking about sweet wines, Auslese, Spätlese, Trockenwein, we talked about it. I would age them for plus 15 years. And then you get these tertiary aromas,
For sure.
which really make a difference, especially like you have it with Sauterne. You get these
I agree.
Spices.
Yeah, I agree. No, I don't agree. But no, I know what you mean. Yeah, we're finishing the podcast now. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for the support you gave, especially now. We're very happy. We reached 10,000 followers on Instagram, which is a big milestone for us because, as you know, we invest a lot of time and a lot of energy, especially Sebastian, the guy behind the camera, in producing in producing all these videos and cutting all of them, and of course
keeping up with our nonsense.
Exactly, but we always feed him with amazing cookies and great wine, so I think he should be fine. And well, one last point would be our next events coming up. Maybe Philip, as a last point, very quickly, because it's Christmas time.
Time is money.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have a new event row starting in February, 6th of February. There's a new member club in Vienna. They also have locations in London, Amsterdam, and Barcelona. And now also in Vienna, it's above the 7 North restaurant, Max Brown hotels. We're going to do bi-monthly tastings there, our Stammtisch. So members can come and also our community can come. So you can get tickets with us. Everyone brings a bottle. We'll invite wineries. The cover will provide food and snacks. And in winter, we are in their living room, which is a really cozy atmosphere. There's going to be a DJ. And in the summer, we're outside on the rooftop terrace and enjoy the sunshine. So check out on our website, vilumi.com, under the event section, and you can get your tickets. And we look forward to seeing you there.
So in this case, everyone, Merry Christmas. This is the last episode of this year, and Happy New Year, of course. Thank you for listening, and we are happy to see you on our channel next year.
Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with your loved ones. And cheers.